And I just thought that in between all the fluff and romance and spice and all of that, which I love, might need a bit of murder just to break it up a little bit. Hello, I'm Charlotte and this is Books and Bargains. So today I'm coming to you with a December TBR. I don't normally make TBRs, but owing to the fact that I have got some pretty big plans for how my reading is going to go into next year, I thought I'd start early in December, give me an excuse to put a Christmas, I was going to say jumper, but I'm too menopausal for a Christmas jumper right now, so a Christmas shirt and a chance to talk about Christmassy books, and I will definitely get into it. Not only am I going to talk you through books that I intend on reading this month for the various readathons that I'm taking part in, I'm also going to give you some of my suggestions of 5-star Christmas books that I have read in years gone by, and also 1 or 2 from this year, but stay tuned for that. So I'm not going to talk here about the NetGalley books that I intend to read, otherwise we would be here forever. I'm going to just jump straight in with a couple of books that I've been sent by publishers that I'd like to get to this month. Now, the first one I'm definitely going to get to in December, and that is A Girlhood, A Letter to My Transgender Daughter by Caroline Hayes. Now, this was sent to me kindly from Book Break, and this is out in January. It is always one of my goals to read books the month before they are released, or earlier if possible. And in 2022, I haven't been too hot on that. So this is me making amends now, and I'm looking forward to reading this one. Another one sent to me by the publisher is Paris Dalincourt is About to Crumble by Alexis Hall. I have recently watched Olivia Savannah's book all about Alexis Hall, which I'll link below, and it has really made me want to pick up Alexis Hall. Side note, I don't know whether it's because I went to school with an Alexis, but it wasn't until I watched that video that I realised Alexis is a male author. I thought Alexis female, but just goes to show that you shouldn't judge these things until you know. And also the lovely people over at Piatka sent me The Secret of Angel Cove by Sheila Norton. Sheila Norton is, again, not an author that I've read from before, but this just has all those cosy vibes, and I think that it will be a perfect read. And yeah, I want to get to that one in December. I know that my brain is not like with it today, so bear with me. I am trying to make sense in this video. So from the 1st to the 15th of December, I'm going to be taking part in Predictathon. This has, I think, 6 hosts, so I will link them down below because off the top of my head, cannot think of them all. The one that I do know is Aoife from Pretty Purple Polka Dots, and yeah, like I say, one of my goals next year is to join in with more readathons, and that's what I'm doing. So the first prompt is to read a book by an author that you've previously given 5 stars. And for that, I'm going with Heidi Swain's Underneath the Christmas Tree. I have, I believe, this and 2 others left of Heidi Swain, and then I will have read her entire backlist, which I'm a little bit apprehensive because I don't want it to be over. And this one, we are heading back to Weymouth. I, earlier in the year, gave The Secret Seaside Escape a 5-star. So I think Weymouth at the moment is my favourite series of Heidi Swain's, so I'm really excited to get into this one. Book number 2 is read a book with your favourite trope, and actually my favourite trope is fake dating, but I wanted to try and make all these books as festive as possible. So I went with another favourite trope of mine, and that is set in a bookshop. If you've seen my previous videos, you will know that I had problems with Jenny Colgan's A Bookshop Christmas, so instead I'm going for Kylie Dunbar's Christmas at the Borough Bookshop. I really enjoyed the first book. I think I gave it around a 3-star because while I enjoyed it, there were certain bits of it that just didn't work for me, but the whole premise and the setup of borrowing a bookshop as a holiday just, yeah, speaks to me. So throw in festive and I'm gonna love it, aren't I? Obviously, the idea behind Predictathon is that all these books should be 5 stars. Now the next one is read a book that someone with similar taste gave 5 stars, and I have got for this Christmas with the Carols. This could also fit into the next prompt, and look at those gorgeous sprayed edges. I saw last year a lot of my friends on Bookstagram raving about this one, and I just never got round to it, so hopefully I'm going to get to that this month. And number 4 is read a book that you've been putting off that could be 5 star. Now I've got Midnight in Everwood by M.A. Kuzniar. Now, from what I remember, yeah, this is set in Nottingham. Now, if you don't know, I live in Leicester and kind of want to move to Nottingham. Nottingham is one of my favourite cities that I could potentially see myself living at in the future. And I think that's what drew me into this one. There was a lot of hype on the Waterstones Nottingham page. And again, quite a few people that I follow on Bookstagram raved about this. As you can see, I bought a special edition, and I don't buy special edition hardbacks. Wanted to read it last year, and actually I've seen some really mixed reviews this year on BookTube, so I'm really apprehensive, but we're going to read that this month. This one is a definite. And then the 5th prompt is to read a book in the genre you give most 5 stars to. So I went on Storygraph. I do have a Premier Storygraph membership premium, which is £3.50 a month, and I really enjoy supporting Storygraph. And I went on like ratings by star, so ratings by category or genre or something, but it said that the highest rated one for me was books that are challenging. So I think that's mainly from reading kind of like Louise O'Neill books, etc. So I then went on to challenging on my to read list, and the only one that I could find that seemed to fit with this time of year is Winter by Ali Smith. Now I read Autumn by Ali Smith last year and really enjoyed it, so I thought I'd put that one onto the TBR. And then for the weekend of the 9th to the 11th, I will be taking part in Holiday Romcomathon. Now, I have got the group book here. This is A Merry Little Meet Cute by Julie Murphy and Sierra Simone. And this could fit all of the prompts. There are 6 prompts, but 3 of them are bookish. And the bookish ones are Light on the cover, Snow on the cover, and a book with holiday vibes. Now, that fits all of them, so I'm definitely going to read that one. But then I do have some other books that would fit that one if I want to be really out there and do a different book for every prompt. So for Light on the cover, I'm going for something a little bit different, and I'm going for Murder Under the Christmas Tree. Don't know if you can see there, but there is a light on there. This is a lot of 10 classic crime stories for the festive season. And I just thought that in between all the fluff and romance and spice and all of that, which I love, might need a bit of murder just to break it up a little bit. For Snow on the cover, I wanted to pick up a book that has been on my TBR for the longest time, and that is Winter at the Dog and Duck by Jill Steeples. It says, can a winter affair become a love to last a lifetime? And Jill Steeples is a new to me author, but look how festive that looks, and I don't think you could get more snow on the cover. And then for a book with holiday vibes, I have this little stack here of books that, I mean, again, I've wanted to get to for years. And actually, all of these are kind of December-y hopefuls, which I'm never going to get to them all in December. But we never know. I am hibernating for December, so I might get these done. So I have the 2nd and 3rd book in the Christmasaurus trilogy, I think it is. I don't know whether it's a series that's still ongoing. Read the first Christmasaurus and absolutely loved it. That's one of my recommendations for you. So I've got the next 2 books there. I've then got a classic. I am trying to read more classics, and I've got A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. And then a book that I picked up, I think, last year is The Way Past Winter by Kira Millwood Hargreaves. And I just thought that this looked really festive. It says, hush Pippa, Mila put her arm around her little sister. It's only stories, just a different way of telling the truth. Her mother's words rose unbidden, and she pushed them away, sent them spinning from her in a puff of cold breath. And it just sounded gorgeous. It's got these beautiful French flaps as well. And so yeah, that is my ridiculous December TBR. Put down below how many books you think I'm going to read in December. I think this year my best month has been about 12. And that was when I was on holiday. So yeah, your guess is as good as mine. So I have already mentioned on this channel that if a Christmas book is marketed as a Christmas book, I want it to smack me in the face with Christmas from the get-go. And the books that I'm going to share with you here all do that. Firstly, my absolute favourite, I don't have a physical copy. I had this via NetGalley and the physical book isn't out till next October and I've already pre-ordered it, is Make You Mine This Christmas, because this had everything. This is the queer romance that I was looking for. This has excellent bisexual representation, excellent chronic illness representation, and excellent bisexual representation. What more could you want? Clearly so good that I said bisexual twice. And it is so festive, so British and festive as well. At one point they're talking about a Christmas party and one of the characters says that, you know, something about, you know, it's a good Christmas party when they've got M&S food, and it just summed up it just summed up British Christmas to me, and so I recommend that to everyone. Please go and get yourself a copy. Like I say, it's only on Kindle at the moment, and if you don't read via Kindle, get it pre-ordered for next year. It's fantastic. I will read anything this author writes. From this one book alone, they have gone up straight to author by author in Books and Bargains world. And then onto some books I do have physical copies. First of all is Jenny Bayliss's The 12 Dates of Christmas. Now this came out last year, I believe, or the year before. Could it be the year before? Yeah, 2020. And this does what it says on the tin. Our main character signs up to a dating site where I think her friend's running it, so she's kind of coaxed into it, where the idea is that you go on 12 festive dates. In Christmas we do things like, I think there's like wreath making and like hot chocolates, and yeah, just so bloody festive. 100% worth a read. We then have Juno Dawson's Stay Another Day. All of these books will be linked below. I'm not sure at the moment, but for a while this was 99p on Kindle. And 4 Sleeps Till Christmas, 3 Siblings, 1 Big Secret. This is another queer festive romance. This is YA, but I'd say it's kind of the older end of YA. I think they're at uni. I can't remember. I think the older siblings are away at uni and come back. And there's a lot of content warnings for this one. I know that we have a character dealing with an eating disorder. We have bisexual representation. We have just everything. And again, I'm going to say this again, it's so bloody British that I absolutely loved it. It's kind of an older, the parents are the kind of older English generation, small village. And then they have these bunch of queer misfit kids that the parents are supportive, but still they do struggle to fit back in. And I just think it's that thing, isn't it, of when you grow up and leave home and then trying to go back to Christmas, especially at Christmas when there's this kind of forced fun element. And yeah, really enjoyed this book. One that I don't think I've heard anybody else talk about on BookTube, and that is Miracle on Christmas Street by Annie O'Neill. This I loved. She moves, what's her name? Jess. When Jess Green arrives at her new home on Christmas Street, she quickly realises this will be a December to remember. After the disaster of last year, she was hoping to curl up and avoid the festivities, but her new neighbours have other ideas. Well, it's called Christmas Street. There are 24 houses. So each year, each house has to do something for Christmas, and I thought this was really interesting because we see a lot of characters. We see the one that is seen as a Scrooge type character, but we also see behind them and why they do things the way they do. We have an overbearing character called Della, I think she was called. And so they either do like wreath making, gingerbread making, all that kind of stuff. And see, I just want to throw my TBR out now and reread all these, but you read them for me. We also have The Christmasaurus by Tom Fletcher. Don't want to go too much into this one because there's not too much to say other than forget everything you thought you knew about the North Pole, pop a crumpet in the toaster and get ready to meet a boy called William Trundle, his dad Mr. Bob Trundle, Santa Claus, yes, the real Santa Claus, an elf named Snozzletrump, Brenda Payne, the meanest girl in school, possibly the world, a nasty piece of work called The Hunter, and a most unusual dinosaur. And yeah, fell in love with this one as soon as I read it. And last but not least for my recommendations, I have One Family Christmas by Bella Osborne. Now, this again fits with that theme of people who've moved away from home, coming back together and trying to get on with all the trials and tribulations that come with that. And it says, what's Christmas without a little chaos? And Lottie, I don't know, I love a Lottie in a book. Lottie is hosting the last Christmas in her Nana's house after her Nana has passed away, and she invites all the family round because she wants to make one last Christmas there that would have made Nana proud, and just goes from there really. And yeah, I get emotional with this one and I just loved it. I definitely think this is due for a reread soon, maybe this year, who knows. So that's it for today. I hope you've enjoyed this video. This is a special added extra because I always find that at this time of year I say that I'm going to slow down and not film as many videos, but then I find that there's so much content that I want to produce for the end of the year. So I mean it's the 1st of December today when I'm filming this. I'm trying to take the next week to pre-film so that I can have a couple of weeks off, apart from the vlogs, because I just enjoy doing them. They don't feel like pressure on them. But yeah, let me know if you've read any of these books and if you have any suggestions of other books that are like these books that you think that I will like. And if you've made it this far, leave me a little Christmas emoji down below. And until next time, look after yourselves. Bye!